Hey, this is Michael.
And this is Steven. And we are the Movie Bros React.
Sure are.
We are. Well, good evening, folks. Thank you for sticking around for the stream a little bit later than anticipated. But I promise it will not become a trend. It's just sometimes how things go. But you know what? We are here, and I'm glad you're all here as well. Michael, we have a fun evening planned ahead for this stream, don't we? What are we doing tonight?
We sure do. For tonight, we have picked movies from specific genres from 1980. 1980 to be exact. Not the 80s, but from 1980. So Steve and I were just wee little lads back in 1980. And some of the movies I remember my parents dragging me to see in the movie theater, and I was bored out of my mind. But now I watch them, and they're really, really good. So
Yeah,
matter of perspective, I guess.
it totally is, man. I agree. And real quick, before we get started on our movies that we're going to talk about, real quick in the chat, just want to say hello to our good friend Polar. Bye-bye, Polar. What's going on, Polar?
Hey, Polar.
And Russell's in the house. All right, Russell. Jason, the nice one. Okay, man. Good to see you. Let's see. Who else do we have lurking in our chat tonight?
I see Jennifer Armstrong.
Oh, Jennifer here. I'm catching up to you. So we got Jennifer Armstrong. What's up, Jennifer? Good to see you. Dino. What's up, Dino? Sarah Campbell. All right, Sarah. Always good to see you. And Katie from Poppin' the Popcorn. All right. Hanging out with us tonight for a little 1980. And Jason. What's up, Jason? Jason, just to clarify, we have two Jasons in the house. What's up, Jason? All right, man. And Jason, the nice one, says he was 12.
12.
In 1980.
How many people in chat were not born in 1980?
Ooh. Yeah, that would be interesting to see. If you were not born yet in 80, let us know. All right. So what we were thinking about doing for tonight was, again, we're kind of doing this as a start of a new, I guess, series, maybe a show series where we're going to go through 1 year at a time of each decade. And who knows, some shows we may do 2 years on a show. We may do 81, 82. We may go crazy and do 3 years on a show and just go even faster. And just accelerate, continue to go through. And it's going to be cool to relive memories and then also just to look back. And it's fascinating because a lot of times, Mike, did you find like we remember these movies, but sometimes the years they come out kind of get lost in the details. And maybe I think it's 82 or I think it's 83, and it turns out it's 81 or 84. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't remember that detail. And so I think this will be a fun thing for us to do. And everyone in the chat, we want you to play along. We want to know what and listen, it doesn't matter if you were born then or not, because a lot of times you may have seen this movie as an adult now. And like some of these movies, even though I was alive in 1980, I didn't see some of these until I was older. So if you've seen, and there may be movies that's not on our list that you've got that we haven't even seen. And that's why this is so fun. So it's sharing of information, and who knows, Mike and I love to do watch parties, right, buddy? So you never know.
Real quick, before we get started, don't you have a slide you want to show everybody?
I do have a slide. And let's get that up right now. So at the bottom of the screen, you see, in addition to subscribing and smash the thumbs up button, you have a way to support the channel now and by becoming one of our patrons. And we want to say thank you to our patrons right now. And Mike, you want to go ahead and go over the list with everybody?
Sure. At the May the Force be with you level, we have Kyle from Flet's Movies and Pop Culture. Everybody's changing their names.
I know.
And from the Get to the Chopper level, we have Bipolar. And then we also have Get Ready for a Surprise level with Jennifer Armstrong, Valerie Janowski, and Denisha Lane. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. We really, really, really appreciate it.
Yes, we do. We do. Thank you so much. And all of you help us with your support to prevent Michael and I from getting the sourpuss face. So we appreciate that. You help us keep that face away. And we really do appreciate your support, guys. You really do help us out a lot. So much appreciation. Let's see who else was born. Russell again says born. Now Dino says that he wasn't born in 1980, but I love the 80s movies. Absolutely. My favorite decade for music and for a lot of movies. Some of the greatest movies of all time. I agree with that. Yes.
Polar said she wasn't born in the 80s.
That's right. Polar was not. That's right.
Unless you
Jennifer says, I love you guys and this little community. Oh, thank you. Polar says, I couldn't resist. Get to the chopper. I swear. I think I remember Polar saying, like, literally, she had to do it at that level just because of the name. Like, it just had to. I love that.
It's funny because 2 of our levels are from 2 different Arnold Schwarzenegger movies.
Oh, my gosh. That's right. Get to the chopper and Get Ready for a Surprise from Total Recall.
Total Recall and Predator.
Predator, yeah. Wow.
We should make one that said, I don't have time to bleed.
We should. We should create a 4th level and make it our top tier. I don't have time to bleed. It's our top tier. Oh, my gosh. Well, you know what? Before we get into our movies, Michael and I consider ourselves public servants. At the core of our beings, as much as we love to talk movies, we are the movie bros, but we also feel like we have an obligation through being public presenters, entertainers, content creators. All these things come with responsibilities. And as public personas, if you will, no matter how big or small our representation might be, we feel an obligation to be responsible and give public service announcements, because at the end of the day, everything matters, and we want to make sure our influence is for good. And health is important, and lung health is very important. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we start, let's give our on behalf of the American Lung Association, we're going to give our very important anti-smoking public service announcement direct from Suck TV. Here we go.
Now we're pleased to bring you a message from the American Lung Association.
Hi, I'm Laura Hinman. I'm the spokesperson today for the American Lung Association, and I'm just here to tell you young people and you old people also, stop smoking. Smoking is hazardous to your health. Smoking causes cancer. You young people think it's so cool to smoke, but it's not. You get all that old tartar on your teeth, and then you have to have your teeth cleaned, and you get the you get it all in your lungs, and then you wind up with lung cancer, and before it's all over with, you wind up dying because of smoking. Smoking should be a no-no.
And cut. Well, that's Keeper.
Woo! I need a cigarette.
Oh.
She broke the rules.
She broke the rules, and so she had to pay. So thank you very much, guys, for your time on the smoking ad there, or not the smoking ad, the public service
We
announcement.
lost a watcher, man.
Woo,
from that.
We did lose one. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Michael, let's get into this, man. So we've got our favorite movies from 1980, and we narrowed it down to basically our top 5, but
Mhm.
there's some other honorable mentions too that we may throw in along the way.
Yep.
So, Michael, why don't you start us off, man, with your first movie?
All right. So we were going to do this a long time ago, and it got kind of put back on the back burner. And so I have my top 5 movies from different genres of movies. And starting with number 5, it was a drama, and it was Coal Miner's Daughter. And my parents drugged me to see it. And it was...
You didn't label your pictures.
Oops. Sorry.
There's no labels.
I shall do it.
I knew a couple of them.
All right. So that's
There we
Sissy
go.
Spacek playing
okay.
Doing Coal Miner's Daughter, and it had Tommy Lee Jones as her husband in the movie,
Oh,
which I didn't recognize. I mean,
wow.
the movie was decent, but for a kid who's, 8 or 9, however old I was,
Yeah.
it just, it just didn't fit the bill at
I
the
imagine it
time.
was boring, right? Was it slow?
It was pretty boring. I got to hear some
Yeah.
curse words, so that was pretty cool. But
Highlight of your day
it was, or my night,
or your night, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of weird sitting next to my parents listening to people, curse and stuff. But anyhow, it was a good movie. It was the top drama movie of 1980, and so that's my 5th pick for the top 5 in 1980 that I have.
Wow. Cool, man. All right. Well, Michael and I had a different ideas in mind, and we put our list together with completely different thought processes, and we came at it with different angles. So mine is not ranked the same way as his.
Okay.
So it's going to be a little bit different when I give mine, but that's okay.
Hey, Denisha.
Hey, Denisha, what's going on? So, all right. And those
Russell.
bottom...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Those bottom 4 are yours, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Because that 4th one is one of mine too. We share that one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, which is cool.
All right.
We actually matched. Mike and I matched on one of these. All right. I'm gonna get rid of this one. Sorry, I'm just eliminating one. Okay, so one of mine, and I don't really have these in any particular order because they're all really well. Maybe I do. Maybe there's a couple that I do have ranked higher than others, but I gotta start. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Rank them.
It's so subjective, and it's so hard because it depends on your mood. But here's the first. I have to do this movie first because it came out in 1980, and it was the...
Is this your least favorite?
I'm not
okay.
gonna do... I decided not to do it that way.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say these are all my favorites. Like, these are all favorites of the year.
Gotcha.
So, but this one I'm gonna do first because it was my very first horror movie.
Mhm.
So anyone who knows me from Craven, you probably already know the answer. I was taken to this by my sister, who was babysitting me on a date and dragged me to the theater. And 1980, guys, it was Jamie Lee Curtis and Terror Train. I will never forget it. It was my very first experience ever seeing a scary movie. I'd never seen anything that made me scared before. And I spent most of the movie with this whole thing going on, and I went back and rewatched it on a watch party on the Craven channel not long ago, a few months ago, and it's really not a scary movie at all. Of course now,
Mhm.
but it's suspenseful at times for sure. But when you're whatever age I was at that time, 6,
Mhm.
7 years old, whatever, it's creepy, super
Yeah.
creepy.
And we
Way too
watched
young.
Terror Train 2, right?
The remake, you mean?
No, we
The new
watched
ones?
Terror Train 2.
Terror Train 2?
I was on the live watch with you. We watched
Oh, well, that was the remake. That was a sequel to the remake. There was no original. There was only Terror Train for 30 years. Then they did Terror Train on. Those are both Tubi originals. Those are new movies. Yeah. So we did watch Terror Train 2, but it's a new movie. It's like a new release. Came out a couple years ago.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. You're right. But it's not a sequel to this movie. It's a sequel to the remake. But anyway.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a sequel to this one.
Gotcha.
But yeah, this was the first one I'll mention because it was my first horror movie. So it'll always have that kind of that special place in my heart for that reason only.
So did you have to sleep with your parents?
I don't remember if I did or not, honestly. I just remember the movie, like I remember the bloody sink. I still see it in my head, that snapshot picture of it. I've never forgotten it. But
That's funny.
yeah. So that's mine. That's
All
my
right.
first one.
That's a good one, man.
Thank you.
All right. My number 4 movie, which
Yep.
I never saw until probably the 90s, was The Shining
Oh,
with Jack Nicholson. And
yes.
the reason I never saw it was because I was raised in a very strict Christian home, and we didn't watch R-rated movies. And when I went over to friends' house and they had HBO, it would show
Mhm.
the trailer for The Shining, and all it
Mhm.
showed was the 2 little creepy kids standing side by side with the little boys on his tricycle,
Yes.
and then the elevators opening up with all the blood. Do you remember that, Steve?
I remember.
And
Scarred me for life.
and HBO would show it like back in the 80s. They'd get movies and they would show it like over and over. It would be like back to back to back to back. They'd show it,
Mhm.
and yeah, it was just it freaked me out. I didn't want to watch it basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You finally did though when you gave in the 90s.
I did. It was a Stanley Kubrick movie. So Shelley Duvall did a great job in it. Stanley Kubrick, his filming was fantastic. And just the scenes where he walks in the room and that woman's in the bathtub. Do you remember that scene?
I remember it well. I remember all of these scenes.
Okay.
They scarred me, dude.
Yep. So that was
Messed
yeah.
up, dude.
It's really weird.
Very weird. And it's funny you said Shining because you asked me about did I sleep with my parents on Terror Train?
Uh-huh.
I did sleep with my parents on The Shining for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And you know what's funny about it too? I actually watched it on HBO. When you saw about HBO, that's how I saw it at my grandma's apartment. And my dad and I went to spend the night with her
Oh,
in
that's
her
right.
apartment. Remember that story?
Yes.
And
Tell
her
'em.
so it was terrible. I was supposed to be going to sleep, and my dad and my grandma went to watch it in the living room in her apartment. And the living room was like the bedroom where I was in. If you open the door, you can look in the living room and see the TV, and they were sitting back to me. Their back was to me. They couldn't see me. I cracked the door open, and I sat there and laid on the floor, and I watched The Shining from the bedroom door. I couldn't take my eyes off of it, and it terrified me. And when I got home, I tried to sleep by myself that first night, and all I could picture was him coming around that hall with an axe to come into my room And I was so terrified
Uh,
that I went and told mom and dad I said I had to sleep in there for 2 solid weeks.
did you come clean on why you had to?
Yeah, I told him. My dad was very unhappy with me. I told you, son, not to watch that movie, and he did.
Danny, what's wrong with you? Red rum,
Red rum, red rum. I'm telling you, man, I will never forget The Shining. That's why I do not want to ever see that movie again. I mean, a lot of people said you should watch it now that you're an adult and just see it again.
You've never seen it since then?
I've never seen it since I was that little kid.
Oh man,
No.
it is so tame now, dude. I mean,
That's what
the
I've heard. Like,
the filming and stuff is fantastic. The movie is really good, for a horror movie. You know how I am with horror movies, but this
Yep.
is, not horrible, but it must have made a huge impact on you.
Oh, it did. It just and not a good impact. It was awful. Everything freaked me out, man. And it was just like every scene. I remember all of it. Even the ending scene, whenever he's walking through the maze out there and they're like doubles tracking the steps. I mean,
Mhm.
it was just really, really, really creepy, man. So moving on, speaking of creepy, there's some other movies that are on my list too from 1980. But before I dip my toes back into horror, I'm going to switch total gears on us here and go to one of my favorite movies by the crew that brought us Kentucky Fried Movie, Jerry and David Zucker and Pat Proft, the team that would go on and lead us into the Naked Gun trilogy, Top Secret, the legendary crew, the original spoof filmmakers, in my book, comedy legends. And it all started here in 1980 with Airplane.
Oh, that's classic, dude.
This is where it all began. And then we had Airplane, Airplane 2, then we had Top Secret, then we had the Naked Guns. And guys, I can watch any of these movies and talk about a watch party. If we should do Naked Gun, like the Naked Gun trilogy, I know I have the script memorized, Michael. I've seen those movies so many times, dude.
Yeah.
They're so fun. And I think a watch party would be so fun with those.
Mm-hmm.
And Airplane 2, all of them. Top Secret. Top Secret's a great movie.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It is. I mean, what's not to like about Airplane? Leslie Nielsen. I mean, just everything. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's cameo. I mean,
Leave It to Beaver's mom.
Leave It to Beaver's mom talking jive. I mean, it just goes on and on. You know, all those scenes, they're just classic, man. So yeah, I mean, it's got to be on the list for me. That's a whole other side of me. I love those spoof movies. I love that those kind of films. They crack me up. So anyway, Airplane, absolutely on the list for me.
All right. Well, I've done drama and horror. My number 3 is action movies.
Okay.
And it is The Big Red One. And that had Lee Marvin, Samuel Fuller, Mark Hamill, Star Wars, Robert Carradine.
Really?
Yep. Bobby DeCiccio and Kelly Ward. And it was... Oh, man. Kelly Ward was the writer, director, and producer.
Who was?
Kelly Ward.
Oh.
Who was in there.
Okay.
So I watched it. I stayed up late with my stepdad and watched it. And I just remember that they get to this concentration camp that they freed. And there was one part where Mark Hamill just has a mental breakdown and he finds a Nazi in one of the furnaces where they burn all the
Yeah.
people.
Mm-hmm.
So he just sits there and he just shoots them.
Mm-hmm.
And Lee Marvin walks by and hands him a clip of bullets. And he puts it in his gun and just keeps shooting.
Wow.
And then he comes back and he pats him on the shoulder. He goes, I think you got him. So,
Wow.
I mean, it was, I just remember that part because it was so long ago, but it was, those guys were, it was a tough movie.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's not an easy watch. No.
No,
Dang.
not at all. And it was set in World War II. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
as you know, since we talking about Nazis and stuff, but yeah, I always have a little piece of my heart of it because it has Mark Hamill in it. So
I see him in the poster up there. There he is, so young.
yeah. And Lee Marvin was a awesome actor too, man. He was really good.
I just can't imagine seeing Gilbert from Revenge of the Nerds in the army.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Wow. Good one, man. I have never seen it. I don't usually watch war pictures, so that's one that I've never seen. But now I'm curious about it. Wow.
Yeah. If you ever want to watch it, man, let me know.
Ooh. Sounds like I got to be in a really mood for that kind of a movie. That's got to be in a. You got to get yourself mentally ready for that.
Yeah. It's kind of like that one. Probably the only cowboy movie I like is The Good, the Bad, the Ugly with Clint Eastwood. One of the spaghetti westerns back in the 60s.
Yeah.
Dude, I could watch that all day long. I don't know why. There's just something about it. You know, all the other westerns and stuff, I'm like, eh. But man, there's just something about that movie. It just like hits a spot on me that if you ever want to watch a western, I will watch that one with you.
Okay. Wow. Lots of movie options. My gosh, lots of options.
Getting out of our box, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Trying some new stuff. Well, all right. I've done Airplane for comedy and I've done horror for Terror Train. So now I'm going to move to action. And this one is probably going to surprise you, Michael, but because I consider this an action movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably my most, let me think about this real carefully. Yeah, I think I can say this. I believe it's my most favorite superhero movie. I think it still is my most favorite of all. I do like the Iron Man movies, the ones I've seen. As you know, I'm not much into superhero movies. You know that. But I've seen quite a few of them. But I will say this movie, and it came out in 1980, it's still to this day, I would watch this on a watch party any day.
Dun, 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 dun,
It is, ladies and gentlemen, that's right, Superman 2.
Oh, number 2.
Number 2.
Oh, yeah.
With the 3 people here, I can't remember their names, but
General Zod.
I
can't remember the other 2.
This, to me, was the best Superman I've ever seen. And I just absolutely love how they come here to Earth and they're jacking with everything. And I just love this movie. And I haven't seen it in a long time. And I really, even when I looked it up today, I said, man, I really want to see that again. This is it's been too long. And you know, I love how even though it's the special effects are kind of dated and all, and I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really good, and they're all in that glass pane in space.
Yeah, the Phantom Zone.
Yes, they're trapped at their prison in that thing, and they come on Earth. They crash land on Earth somehow, whatever. And I'll never forget when they're all walking town, their black leather or whatever.
Yeah,
and they're in this little country town. And all I remember was like one of them just starts to blow their breath and like causes like a hurricane force wind in the town, it seems like. And I'll never forget when I first saw it. I was young, obviously 1980. Saw it in theaters with my dad for sure. And that's all I will never forget. I remember this because it made my dad laugh, and I guess that's why I remember it. Because I was serious. I said, Dad, I said, what if he has bad breath? I was like dead serious. And I'll never forget that. But seriously, this is absolutely my favorite Superman movie. I'll take it over any of the newer ones any day. And I would be so down for us to do a watch party of this, man. Any day.
That's cool.
Yeah. What's up, Marcus? I shot him 6 times.
Marcus.
And the Big Llama Show. What's up, guys? And Michael from Movies and Beyond.
Michael.
There you go. General, would you care to step outside? Yeah, there we go. Great movie. It is a great movie, dude. All right, Polar. Thanks for hanging out
Polar,
with us.
for coming and talking to us.
Yes, sweet dreams to you too. We'll catch you next time. All right. So that's my pick for my favorite action film of the year 1980.
Nice. Yeah, I sure thought that it was. Then I remembered Superman came out in 79, the first one, and then they had the second one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved Christopher Reeve, man.
Yep, he was awesome.
Yeah, especially back at that time. I mean, that was like the first real superhero movie that came out.
It was.
So.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. All right. So I'm going backwards from 5 to 1. I'm at number 2 for comedy. And this movie, I didn't see it when it came out because it was rated R. But as soon as I was able to, I watched it. And the movie is Caddyshack.
Yeah.
That movie is so funny.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I mean, there's so many great parts with Bill Murray trying to catch the gopher. And then it just has so many a great cast. The part where somebody drops a chocolate bar in the pool.
Yes, the Baby Ruth. Yeah.
The Baby Ruth, and everybody thinks it's poop.
Yeah.
And then you have the Jaws theme, dun 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 dun. And then the part where the guys, the nephew that was like really a sleazy guy. He's like walking around drinking everybody's drink, and then he drinks one. And it has the cigarette butts in it, and he throws up in the guy's car, and then oh my gosh. And then I just think it's so funny and it's so outrageous. And there really wasn't, I don't know, wasn't any slow parts, and it just had so much fun. And you saw it. Have you seen it, Steve?
Oh, dude, I've seen Caddyshack countless times, and I love this movie. You've got Chevy Chase, you've got the dude on the far right, and who's I can't remember his name, but he's a great actor, Bill Murray, and then of course you've got the amazing, iconic Rodney Dangerfield.
Yep.
And wow, that guy, I could watch him and listen to his act. I mean, there's a lot of great comedians throughout history, but he could just sit there and go and just not stop. I mean, you just like exhaust you with just constantly going. And he was brilliant, dude.
Back to School, man. He's like nonstop the whole time.
Yes. And I would sit here for ages, like, and sometimes I still do. I'll just pull up Rodney Dangerfield clips on YouTube and watch him on Carson and Letterman and just, just anywhere he's done appearances. And it's just phenomenal, man. I'm a big fan of his work. And rarely ever would ever say a curse word. His jokes, sometimes they get a little off color, but it was never dropping curse. They were just funny. And yeah, they were, again,
Ted Knight. That's who it was.
Ted Knight. That's the one. That's right. Ted Knight. Thank you. he was just he was just a really funny guy. And one of my favorite scenes, there's two in there's a lot of really funny scenes in Caddyshack, but I love the scene whenever he walks in to the country club, Dangerfield, and they're all dancing. There's people, the members are
Uh-huh.
dancing on the dance floor, and most of them are all older senior citizens, like Ted Knight's age, well, like his age too, but he was young at heart, and he walks in there and he's like, "Oh, look, it's the Dance of the Living Dead." That's his intro. I was like, it just cracked me up. And then I will never forget when the priest
Oh no.
was golfing in the rainstorm and he was doing a perfect game and he refused to leave. Remember?
Yep.
And he hit there and he hit the final hole and he grabbed his pole or his driver or whatever and he like lifted it up like, "Oh God!" And all of a sudden, the lightning struck him. It was like, oh my gosh, it was so good.
Or when they brought their shoes in to be cleaned by the African American guy, and they're telling a joke, and the guy like takes it and messes it up.
Messes it up. Yep.
Oh yeah, Rodney Dangerfield, when he was at dinner, he's like, "Hey, tell the chef this steak still has the the slap marks on it or whatever," calling it a horse, and the chef gets mad.
Yes, his name is so good, man. Lola J says some people compare Dice Clay to Dangerfield, but I don't see. Oh man, me either.
I don't either.
No,
Dice Clay is a lot more
crude,
coarse with his voice,
coarse
with his words.
Good, that's right. Coarse is the right word. All right, for me now, I'm going to move on to actually before we go on to the next category, Michael, I think it's time for a public service announcement because it's I mentioned earlier we gave one for the Lung Association.
Mhm.
Another thing that's very important is education, and I think that part of education is learning new languages because the more diverse we can be in communicating, the more effective we can be in reaching other people in other parts of the country and even in our own country that just come from other places that have different languages. So one of the things that the Movie Bros supports is increasing your education, learning new languages, making yourself a more effective communicator. And that's one way you can do it. And we support an organization here that, and I'm just going to let's play the clip and let you see a way that we have found you can learn to speak languages much quicker. And it's actually something that can chemically alter your brain function that will allow your brain waves to alter your speech. I can't describe how it works, but it works. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Here we go.
I'm Laura Hinman. I'm talking to you today about a new learning tool designed to enhance and accent the learning process required to learn Spanish. Now, I've never spoken any Spanish, and frankly, I don't care to. But this looks so good, I'm going to drink me some.
Oh, yeah.
Uno de los más grandes compositores e intérpretes de este siglo. Sus temas saltaron fronteras y se convirtieron en símbolo de México. Rudy Pérez, Raúl Di Blasio y Pilar Montenegro son algunas de las grandes compositores de siglo. Sus temas saltaron fronteras y se convirtieron en símbolo de México. Rudy Pérez, Raúl Di Blasio y Pilar Montenegro son algunas de las estrellas que asistieron a un homenaje a estos grandes compositores e intérpretes de este siglo. Sus temas saltaron fronteras y se convirtieron en símbolo de México. Rudy.
Lola J, it is totally real.
So, no, this is totally real in our own minds from 30 years ago. Yeah, these are our little. Well, Michael, tell them real quickly. We won't bog it down for long, but tell them where our public service announcements originated from.
Well, we decided that we were going to make a movie called Horace, which was a horror movie, and we added a whole bunch of commercials, public service announcements, that we were going to put together and submit for public access TV,
Yes.
which we were never able to. But we have
have
YouTube
'em.
now, and we're
Yeah.
showing it nationwide and worldwide.
That's right.
So,
And these clips are from 1995.
mhm.
So, I mean, we're talking about a long, long time ago, almost 30 years old.
15 years after 1980.
Yes, that's right. Long time ago. So they're seeing the light of day after all this time, guys. It's a blast. It's a blast from Michael and I's past, way, way long ago. All right, so let me get back to the movies. We'll get back to our movie picks. So I'm going now to sci-fi.
Uh-huh.
And ladies and gentlemen, one of the best sci-fi movies, in my opinion, of all time. All time. In the annals of history. Please, ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause. Let the love flow for the one and only Empire Strikes Back. Oh my gosh. What an amazing film this was, Michael. And I know this is near and dear to your heart as well, my
Mhm.
friend.
Yes, this is actually my next one, which is number 1 on the list of
Mhm.
sci-fi movies. It is The Empire Strikes Back.
There you go. Bingo. Ding, 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 ding.
If you would like to know anything about The Empire Strikes Back, you can go to my channel, The Carbonite Jedi, and
Yes.
find lots of information on it.
Yes, you certainly can. Be sure to go visit Michael over there after this stream. Lots of great content at the Carbonite Jedi. And man, let me tell you, we need to get his watch hours up. He is getting so close to being monetized. He's over 1,000 subs, guys. And if you want to help him out, go and watch his videos. Let those videos play. Help those watch time hours build up because he's getting so close. He's like, what, Mike, under 500 now, right? You're over under 500 hours.
Like 170 hours.
That's
I
it?
mean, yeah,
Under 200 hours?
yeah.
Guys, listen, man. You got to realize with a bunch of us doing this, that's not that much at all. If everyone would go and watch his videos, go to his playlist or videos and hit play all and let those babies play, we can help get Michael monetized on the Carbonite Jedi and help him start to get a little bit of compensation from YouTube in the partner program. And listen, he's not going to get rich over this stuff. None of us do, but it's nice to get a little something back from the advertisers for the hard work, because this is a lot of hard work, and Michael really does work hard. I know the work he puts into it. So,
'Cause I get you to help me.
well, this is true. I do help Michael behind the scenes some. I don't mind. I love to do it. So, if you guys want to help his channel get monetized, he's so close. Simply go to the Carbonite Jedi. Michael, throw a link in the chat, would you?
Okay.
Put it in there now so they can click it real easy. And if you haven't subscribed to the Carbonite Jedi, of course, please do. But yeah.
Also, Steven has his channel, Craven Something Scary, and
Yeah.
he is going full blast. He is so dedicated that he has been in the hospital and he's still putting out videos. That is amazing.
Oh, thank you,
You
man.
know, he needs less than 600 people to hit 10,000 subs.
Yes. So
That
close.
is a milestone right there. 10,000 subs.
Yes, buddy. It's coming, man. There you go, Lola. Thank you, Lola. Just subbed to
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, guys, I'm only 575 subs from 10K. So it is really getting close now, and woo, it's really mind-blowing and humbling, and it's surreal, to be frank. I'm just so thankful and blessed. So, oh, and thank you, Lola. Lola says subbed here as well.
Thank you.
We're so thankful. Lola, that you are here and you found us over here on the Movie Bros. That's really cool. Michael and I try to stream once a week here. So be sure and hit the bell icon because you'll get notified. We try to stream usually on Thursday nights. It's our usual stream night. We're doing it a little different today on Wednesday, but we're glad to have you. I mean, you're a part of the community. Stick around. We'd love to have you as part of the family.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
definitely.
So The Empire Strikes Back is Michael and I's favorite sci-fi. I think we can both agree on that, right?
That and well, for 1980.
For 1980, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And as a sequel, I think it was as good as Star Wars.
I agree. Those movies are all so evenly matched up for me.
Even 8 and 9.
No. 4, 5, and 6. And speaking of Lola says, what movies would you say were sequels were better than the originals? I mean, a lot of people say Empire is better than the original. I believe is as good. Terminator 2, I think that you could make a case for that. Spider-Man 2 and Empire were just as good. Yeah, exactly. 100% agree. We're just as good, if not better. Yeah.
A lot of people say that Spider-Man 2 was a lot better than the first one.
True. Yep.
So, you know, you were saying how you liked Superman 2.
Yeah, that's true.
The Superman movie with Jim Caviezel, or what his name is.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah,
Superman Returns or whatever it is. I thought it was actually he did a great job in the movie, but I retract my statement. Now that I think about it, it wasn't as good as the Christopher Reeves movie. You know.
Yeah. Michael says it's debatable, but some would say Aliens. See, that's another one. A lot of people say Aliens is better. Yes, that's true.
I have to say the second Alien was better.
See, Michael's spitting out some facts that you would learn in film school for Scream 2, because they have this debate in the movie, and they talk about this, which sequels are better, and they talk. It's right, Aliens, The Godfather 2. That's those are also highly not controversial, but there's very much an audience on both sides of it for sure.
Yeah, I wish on Aliens 3 they would have brought the people that crash landed besides Ripley. They would have kept them alive, but they killed them off, and I'm like, oh, they could have kept what's his name, Bill Paxton. He was awesome in Aliens too.
Yeah, it was. Jennifer says she doesn't believe Aliens is better than the first, but does not get Godfather 2 being better. She thinks the first is way more than 2. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. Michael, my dad was watching Aliens on I think it was HBO, and him and my mom were divorced at the time, so I was at his house. And he let me stay up and watch it, and it scared me so bad. Especially when the guy was eating they were eating Chinese at the table, and the guy starts like, alien comes out, and yeah, that part, and then the jump scares in all the Alien movies just get me.
Yes, sir.
But that's what it's all about, right?
Well, that's right, exactly. You kind of. That's what you're signing up for in some ways, that's let's see here. Okay, man. So honorable mentions, man. There's a couple honorable mentions I want to throw out. And one of them is not a horror, and a couple of them are horror. And just because one of them is such an iconic film, and the other one's not iconic, it's just silly, but it's fun. One's a comedy, and one's a horror. So, Michael, I'll do the horror first and get that out of the way for your sake, because I know you're not into horror. And then we can end on the comedy, and then we can wrap up, and then we'll call it a night.
Okay.
But But in 1980, this little whodunit slasher movie came out at our first. I don't know if it's our first. I won't say our first. That's a big statement. But I'll say this. It was my first summer camp slasher movie. And it was, of course, the iconic Friday the 13th, guys. This was, I mean, it's a legendary film. And, I mean, you know, look here, before I even put it up, look at there. Come on. Michael, you know it, buddy. Come on, man. You know I could not go do this without Friday the 13th. No way. I mean, what a movie. What a great start to a franchise. And I love the murder mystery. You know, you don't really know what's going on. And then you find out, spoiler alert, of course, if anyone's seen Scream, you already got it spoiled for you in the opening. It's when you see it's Mrs. Voorhees, you know, and you're talking about like,
It was Jason. It was Jason.
Yeah, it was Jason. Yeah. Seeing her be that crazy, like, oh, wow, she played it beautifully. And, you know, and I love how Laurie Metcalf played Debbie Salt and Nancy Loomis, Billy's mom in Scream 2. I love how she was so crazy. I thought she did great playing that insane mother. And Voorhees was fantastic. The actress's name, you guys are going to kill me, but her name is completely slipping my mind. But Michael, you can tell me. I know you know the actress's name who played Mrs. Voorhees.
I have no clue.
No, I know. Michael, Movies and Beyond, you know. I know. Wrong, Michael. Oh, cool. It said Friday the 13th is your jam. I know it's your jam. Anniversary was yesterday. Cool. Well, there you go. Nice. Betsy, there you go. Betsy Palmer. Wow, she did a great job. What a great job she did. So anyway, Michael, I know that you've seen Friday the 13th, right? Did you ever see that, Michael, or not?
Probably not. I don't think I have. I think I've seen like clips of it, but I don't think I've seen it.
Would you ever want to watch that sometime? It's not scary now, but it's an iconic film. You know, it's like maybe we could do that. It'd be a fun watch party, I think. You know, with folks. And then we're going to get to the chat here. So go ahead, guys, in the chat. Go ahead and put your, like, if you have a top 5 list you want to throw up real quick. When we get done chatting here, we're going to go to the chat and let's look at your list, or maybe top 1 or 2. It doesn't have to be 5. Any honorable mentions that we haven't mentioned, go ahead and put them up, and we'll see what you guys love from 1980. And Michael, this little movie, I know you've bound to have seen this. I've seen it many times. It's Burt Reynolds.
Yep.
And it's Jackie Gleason. It's Smokey and the Bandit Part 2.
Yep.
And I love the first one too. I love both Smokey and the Bandits and Cannonball Runs. I love those movies.
Dom DeLuise and the Cannonball Run is so funny.
Seriously, man. I know. Trust me. I can watch those all day long, the Cannonball Run movies. And Smokey and the Bandit 2, just a fun movie. I think I probably like the first one better, but they're just it's pretty much the same movie. Just, you know.
Jackie Gleason, man. He does a great sheriff.
Yes, he does. He's great in both movies. And, of course, the first one I've seen more than the second one, I'll be honest. I haven't watched the second one as much, but I like it. And I would watch it, you know, anytime. And these are kind of,
I think they kind of like merged together, so it's kind of hard for me to remember what happened in the first and the second.
Same.
I mean, I know because it's been so long ago.
What I remember, like, same here. It's been a very long time. I used to watch them a lot when I was young, but I remember what I remember most from these movies is the the police car falling apart. And he's like still going after the bandit, and he's like no doors, and there's like no roof on the car, and it's just so awesome. But I had to mention this as an honorable mention at least because it's a fun watch, and if you guys are looking for just a silly, turn your brain off movie one day, you just want to, you're bored and you just want to watch something, get a laugh. That's a good one.
Well, the whole premise. You know the premise behind the movie, right?
Go ahead. You refresh my memory.
So it was like these two rich guys wanted to have Coors beer at their party, and they
Okay.
had to get it to them like within,
Oh yes.
I don't know, a day or
It
so.
was like one day across country.
And the thing is down south, Coors didn't distribute beer. And I
Yeah.
asked my in-laws who were truck drivers around that time, and they said that was actually true, that Coors did
Oh.
not distribute it down south, and that if you wanted to get it, you had to have somebody bring it to you. So,
And is that right?
yeah,
Wow.
I thought that was a pretty neat little fact.
That's a great short. That's a great Did You Know short.
Yeah.
That would be a good one for the Movie Bros. We should do a short for
Yeah.
that. Seriously, like that.
Everybody
would
needs to
be-
watch it, even though I told you.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone watch it anyway. That would be really good. And our heights are way off. I just realized that. I just not noticed that.
I'd sat up.
Oh,
like
okay. There we go. Seriously, dude, let's not forget that. I mean, I'm serious. That's a good short.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. So if you guys want to mention anything for your favorites, I see Jason the Nice One submitted something. Let's see what Jason's got. Top 5: Empire, Ordinary People. Yeah. The Fog. Hey, The Fog. Let me tell you something. The Fog, I almost brought up as an honorable mention. John Carpenter's The Fog, 1980.
Is that where, I forgot what that was about. Was that about the people that stole the pirate gold or something like that? Or,
dude, I barely remember this movie. I just remember that it was creepy as heck, and it was Jamie Lee Curtis again, and it was a John Carpenter movie. And this is one that I need to go back because I mean, Knight talks about it a lot too, when we talk about remakes. And I mean, it's like it ranks up there with the Thing. It's like one of the best remakes of that, may be better than the original. Talking about remakes, not sequels. It's a remake, like The Thing was. John Carpenter did both of those, and this movie is worth watching again. And I want to see it again. I saw it in the 80s, and it made an impression on me, but I've never seen it again.
I just remember the fog coming through the door, and all of a sudden these like shadowy people were standing there inside a room.
Dude. Watch Party. Airplane, number 4. 9 to 5. Yep, I remember 9 to 5.
My wife loves that movie.
Dude.
What was her name?
Honorable
Dabney
mentions.
Coleman on 9 to 5. That was
That's
funny.
right. I remember. Final Countdown and Friday the 13th. Okay.
Dude,
Good list.
have you seen the Final Countdown?
Don't think I have.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's a sci-fi movie, and it's like time travel, and it has Chris Christopherson in it. And
yeah.
And I want to see that.
Gotcha. Huh? I'd be up to watching it.
Maybe he'll break out
Michael's-
some music.
Yeah, buddy. Michael says, I was late to the party. Anyone mentioned Blue Lagoon? Was Blue Lagoon 1980? It may have been.
Oh, I thought it was like in
I thought it was later
late
than 89.
70s.
Was it? You know what? Let me look it up. Just a reminder to everyone, we're only asking for your favorite movie from 1980, not the 80s. 1980, just one single year. So that's a little bit trickier.
Wow. Russell's saying he did Cobra, which was a great movie. Joe
Cobra, that was, I think, 84.
Oh.
Yeah, that's later. That's was Stallone.
Yeah, because Joe versus the Volcano, I was like, I don't think that's 1980.
No, that's a later movie too. Blue Lagoon is 1980. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
How did I miss that? I saw that in theater multiple times. My mom loved that movie. I remember going to the theater multiple times to see Blue Lagoon.
Yeah,
I thought it was later.
You just want to see Brooke Shields?
I mean, hey, man. At that age, I didn't have a problem with it, you know.
Who was
That's awesome.
the boy with the blonde? He had like the blonde wig.
The boy. It was Heath Garrett.
Oh, Leif Garrett.
Leif Garrett.
He's a boy. She's a boy.
She's a boy. Yeah, Russell. Now you got a great list. If we were doing like just movies from the all 80s, you got a killer list, man. Absolutely. But yeah, we're looking for just 1980. Blue Lagoon. Great choice, Michael. See, now Michael, okay. You know, it's a funny story. Brooke Shields was the first one when I was like, okay, I see you. I know what you're talking about.
Yep.
Exactly. I completely understand what you mean. He was born in 78. See, I was born in 74. So I had 4 years on you, and I saw her too. But you know who my first one was?
Bo Derek.
No.
Oh.
No, my first one was, well, hold on. Maybe it was Brooke Shields. Hold on a second, because let me see when this movie came out. There was one particular movie that I really, okay, then it was Brooke Shields, because the person that jumped out to me, and I used to go see the movie multiple times after this movie. It was 2 years later, in 1982.
Annie?
No, Michael. It was in 1982. It was the pirate movie
with
Christy McNichol. And I don't know why, but something about her, I saw her. I love the way Michael described it. It's perfect. He's like, okay, I see you. I see you. And so Brooke Shields and Christy McNichol, those were the two. Don't know why, but that's what my body chemistry was saying. I see you. So there you go.
He'd walk out of the theater singing "The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow."
No, that's not not Annie. Annie. Yes, Michael. He said Annie. What's up, Mimi? Says hi, everyone. New sub here. All right.
Hey, Mimi.
Welcome, Mimi. Glad to have you in the family of the Movie Bros React. Make yourself at home. We're starting to wind the stream down, but when we wrap up, be sure you watch the replay. We got to cover our favorite movies from the 1980. But here's the thing, Mimi. We're going to do this every week. We're going to be putting out a live stream where we talk about our favorite movies from each year. So we did 1980 tonight. We're doing 1981 next week, our next stream. We're going to keep doing a new year. And we might start combining them so we go a little quicker. So we'll probably do like 81 and 82 next week. And then 83, 84, whatever, 85, 86. Maybe we can start doing 3 years. So we give you guys even more content in one shot, a little bit more to it. So glad you're here. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
All right.
So here's one that Steve introduced me to that I never would have watched on my own. Dressed to Kill.
Yes, Dressed to Kill. This movie, Michael, go ahead. Tell folks about you thought about this film, and I can tell you my thoughts on it.
Is this the one where was it Michael Keaton or Michael Caine?
Was the
Michael Caine. I never thought if you haven't seen the movie, I don't want to tell you who the killer is, but it never crossed my mind that was the killer. So you see people in an elevator. Did they have closed circuit TV in the elevator?
Maybe.
I think they did.
Yeah.
And the killer was supposedly a woman. And so they were having a hard time finding the killer. But it was a really, really twisty movie.
Very twisty. Looking for a long-haired blonde female.
Oh man, what was that movie with the DJ who was getting the phone calls?
That was called Talk Radio.
Dead Silence.
Dead Silence. Yes, that's Dead Silence.
Talk
Radio. Dead Silence. Yes, that was a really good movie too.
But I don't think it was in the 80s.
No, that was in the 90s. But but this movie here, Dress to Kill, and you notice at the top there on the poster, which has now disappeared. Let me put it back up. Really? It's Brian De Palma, guys, and you guys know De Palma. That guy's a legendary director, and it's really good. It's an oldie but a goodie, as they say. So it's a great suspenseful. It's not really horror. It's really a thriller. That's the way I would describe it. It's really good though. So if you haven't seen this movie, if it's escaped your viewing to this point, super duper duper recommend it. Michael Caine, the guy's amazing, as you know, actor, and he does not disappoint in this movie. So you will not be disappointed. Check it out. Go into it as blind as you can. You see here, right there tells you you're invited to a showing of the latest fashion. It's a fashion show and things happen. And anyway, I just want to leave it at that. So definitely check it out. Awesome. All right. Lola says, do you remember those 3D glasses? Absolutely. That's back when it was cool to do 3D, and it was fun and new, It seems like 3D now is just like whatever.
Actually, there's some pretty cool 3D.
Is there really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they have different glasses now, and I think they upped their game.
Well, that's good. I avoid 3D. If I go to a theater at all, I will choose not to do a 3D viewing. Like Scream 6 was in 3D. That was the first time that I ever had a Scream movie in 3D. I know a couple of people that went and saw it in 3D and said it was pretty cool, but
I mean,
most people I knew didn't do it 3D.
I'll go if it's the only choice.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That makes sense. Friday the 13th, 3D. Jaws in 3D. Oh, that could be interesting.
Guys, if you haven't given us a thumbs up, we would surely appreciate it. We're
Definitely.
at 19 likes. One more will put us over 20.
Yeah, let's get to 20. I'm sure one of you has not yet hit that like button. It would help the channel out a lot. We would really greatly appreciate it. There it is. Thank you. Whoever that was just got us to 20. Much appreciated. And again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, this is the time to do it. Michael and I do have, again, we're planning some stuff for the channel to continue to expand it and increase our content for you guys. And we have gained 2 new subscribers tonight, which is fantastic. We really appreciate that as we're on our journey to 1,000 subs. And it's great to be at 611. That's where we're clawing our way up. And Ben Grimm is here. What's up, Ben?
Hey, Ben.
All right. Glad you got to make it tonight.
Was Teen Wolf 1980?
No, Teen Wolf was 80. I believe it was 85 or 86 because it came out after Back to the Future. And it was filmed before Back to the Future.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Held it because they knew that when Back to the Future came out, it was going to be such a hit that they would release Teen Wolf and they would get tons of revenue in the box office with Michael J. Fox. And it worked. That's what happened. It was very smart. And I happen to love that song in Teen Wolf. It's on my Spotify playlist. It's the one that goes "Win in the End." It's the one he plays when he's in that last basketball game at the end. It's when he's in full wolf. Or is he not in full wolf? I can't remember if he's in wolf or not at the end. It doesn't matter. But do you remember the song "Win in the End"?
It's been such a long time since I've seen it. I'm sure I'd remember it.
It's really catchy. Yeah, it's really, really catchy. So I love that song. So Teen Wolf will always have a place in my heart. And it's another one of those fun movies that I loved. And I love Michael J. Fox. Such a charismatic actor and character. And it's a fun movie. Great story. Everything, it's all all the stuff you love in the 80s movie to me.
Yes.
All right. Well, Michael, anything else you want to add, my friend, as we start to wrap up now?
I don't. I've had such a fun time going down memory lane and talking about all these fantastic movies.
Yes.
So next week, are we going to try 81?
I think we should do 81 and at least 81, maybe 81 and 82.
We can have our list ready and see
Let's
how
do
it
that.
goes.
Yeah, let's play it by ear. We'll prepare to have both years to get, and if we run out of time, then we'll stop, and pick
So
it back
everyone
up.
out there in chat, what we'll do is I'm going to try to twist Steve's arm to do it like I did it, where we have different genres,
Yeah.
and we'll choose our favorite from each genre.
Mhm.
And if y'all want to do the same out there in chat and see if we match up, that'd be kind of a fun little thing.
That'd be a lot of fun. It would
Yeah.
be. Yeah, we'll do like, drama, or we'll do like action, comedy, horror, sci-fi,
And drama.
and drama. So is that six genres, I believe, right?
Is it?
Did I count right or I miss up? Action,
Action,
comedy,
comedy,
horror,
sci-fi, sci-fi and drama.
drama. That's five.
That's 5.
5 genres, and we're going to do our favorite for each one,
Mm-hmm.
and then any honorable mentions. We can have honorable mentions too.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be fun. So our goal is to meet back here live stream next Thursday, the 18th is the goal.
Yes.
To have that stream. We'll get it set up in StreamYard, get it on the calendar so it'll be there. You guys can set notifications and be reminders. So you'll already have it there ready to go. And we'll also, in the meantime, we'll post some shorts so you guys can get some shorts and maybe some polls this week. We can do maybe. Hey, that'd be some fun stuff to do. We'll think of some polls to post, and maybe we'll even get a video up that you can watch between now and then. So we'll do our best to continue to add more and more content to it. But also, one more time, I know some of you have come on here late at the end that are new, so I want to make sure we share our other channels. For those of you who may not know, Michael and I both have our own individual channels. This is our group, our joint channel together. And we also have our own channel. So Michael has the Carbonite Jedi, and I have Craven Something Scary. So we'll put the links in real quick one more time. I know we put them in earlier a while back, but let's see here. Let me go ahead and grab those links and we'll put them in the chat. Okay. Here comes my channel.
And I got mine on there too.
Okay.
So Lola J wants to know, are we actually brothers?
We are brothers at heart, but not by blood. We
Brothers
are
from another mother.
brothers from another mother. That's right. No, we are in reality, we are best friends for over 30 years, guys. Over 30 years. We are best friends, truly. I when I think about, hey, Destin and Spicy General, welcome. Michael and I don't have a brother. I have 2 sisters. But if I had a brother, I believe this is what it would be like. I think Michael I view him as a brother. I don't think of him as a friend. And I really do. He's family. He is literally family in my mind. And so, it's like if anyone asks me, are you brothers? My first answer is yes, but not really. Like technically, no. Practically, yes, absolutely. And I'm so blessed, that our relationship has just grown over all these years, 30 plus years, and we're closer than we've ever been in our whole lives. And, we talk literally, almost every single day we're either texting, at least texting at the very least, or messaging.
Yep.
There's rarely a day that goes by. Sometimes there's a day that we don't, but it's very rare. And so, yeah, we're after 30 plus years, we're not sick of each other yet. So I think it's safe to say that it's for life at this point. So
Yeah.
But you guys are awesome. Mimi says sub to both channels. Thank you so much, Mimi.
Thank you.
So nice to meet you, and thank you for being a part of our family now. Hate to leave, but I have to go. It was lovely meeting you all. I look forward to the next live. Bye for now. Bye, Mimi. Thank you.
Bye, Mimi.
We'll look for you next Thursday. Take care. All right. And Dino, that's right. You don't have to be blood to be family. That is very, very true.
So
that's right, Justin.
Steve, you want to answer Lola J's question?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, actually, Lola, yeah, I've been real blessed to have an opportunity to meet a few celebrities and actors and stunt performers and writers and production designer. Yesterday, I had the honor of meeting the production designer for Scream 6 last night on my Craven channel. So, Lola, if you have not had an opportunity yet, if you can go over to my Craven channel that I just put the link in, and on the front page, I have all of my interviews there, and check it out. I've got some interviews you can watch. The actor who played Megan in the movie Megan, as well as Maureen Prescott in Scream 3. There's quite a few. The stunt double for Jamie Lee Curtis in the Halloween trilogy. Mia Goth stunt double from X. Oh gosh. I can't, my mind's blanking. There's quite a few that I've had the wonderful privilege and honor of being able to have on the channel and meet. So they're all on there though. They're all there. You can watch the interviews, and just last night, the Screen production manager for production designer, excuse me, for Scream 6, and she'll be coming back. And this is kind of breaking news. I know I'm not on the Craven channel, but a lot of you are subscribed to the Craven channel. So I'm going to break it to you guys here. Michael knows this already, but very few people do. So she, Michelle Laliberte is her name. And she has agreed, guys, to come back next month in June to the Craven channel and do a live watch party, guys, of Scream 6 on the channel. The production manager of the film will watch it with us all live. So stay tuned. I'm going to be setting that up. It's going to be an amazing thing. And I will just say this last thing. If you're a fan of Scream 6, you like the movie, if you will go watch that interview from last night, you will never watch the movie the same. She gives so much information about the sets, how she designed them, her mindset in like the color schemes of the paint in the apartments. It's so much information and details that it was mind-blowing. I need to watch it again. It was so much. So anyway, I'll just leave it at that. I highly encourage you. It will enhance your viewing experience when you watch the movie again. So
what was
anyway,
the name of the actor that you had the night before?
Yeah, and Bryce Anthony Heller. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, he was on Monday night. He's one of the leading cast members of an independent thriller called You're Killing Me. It's where you can rent it on Prime Video, all the platforms. And it has it was Anne Heche's last movie. Dermot Mulroney, who plays Detective Bailey in Scream 6, is in it. And he's the lead antagonist in the movie. Brilliant actor and performance. He was on Monday night's interview. It's on the channel. Watch that. And he also has agreed to come back and do a watch party live for You're Killing Me. So it's just really good news, really amazing, fun stuff. And I'm just so thankful and grateful and blessed. And And last but not least, while we're talking about it, on the Craven channel at the end of this month, I just have to share, this is one that's going to be, I'm super pumped, guys. On May 26th, look here, at the end of the month, the actor who plays Ghostface in Scream 6, Max the Farrier, he's in the costume, and Jason Cavalier, who's the bodega shop owner who pulls out the shotgun, both of them are coming together at the same time at 6 p.m. Central this month on the 26th for a 1-hour dual interview on my channel, Craven Something Scary. The stream is already set up, so go check it out. Hit the notify me button and smash that like button, and don't miss it. All right. I think that's it. So,
Dino,
Michael, your turn.
I would, I wouldn't know what to do if I met Mark Hamill. My ultimate would be to be able to interview him and talk with him. He seems like such a cool guy, but I think, the likelihood of that is like probably 1% because I saw some videos of like how just fans just mob him, and it would just it would be a miracle if I was able to do it, but I would come up with so many questions for him, and I would just love to sit down and talk with Mark Hamill, and tell him that I agree with him, because he had an interview where he said for episodes 7, 8, 9, it felt like he wasn't Luke Skywalker, he was Jake Skywalker, Luke's cousin, and that this was Jake Skywalker that was doing all the action scenes and stuff, and that this was not his Luke Skywalker, which I totally agree. So I would ask, one thing I would ask Mark Hamill is if they did a multiverse for Star Wars, would he come back as Luke Skywalker?
Yeah.
To be able to do the legends instead of, what Disney set up. So I'm a little ticked at Disney, but if you go to my channel, there might be some shakeups in the Disney world for Lucasfilms. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. That's all I got to say about that.
Well, you never know, my friend. One thing I've learned is never say never, and you always give it your best shot, man. And like me, I'm hunting down Matthew Lillard. I'm never going to stop hunting Matthew Lillard down. I think, that's your Mark Hamill. For me, it's Matthew Lillard. That's like the one big interview one day that I hope to land, and I believe the day will come. I don't know when, and if it may be 15-minute interview, maybe, I don't know, but I just believe that there'll be a day, whether our paths will cross. Wow, it's getting
Your
late.
claws were path.
Our claws will path, but there'll be some way it's going to happen. It'll be a mutual friend, a networking thing. Someone will know him, put me in contact. Somehow it's going to come out, and I believe it will happen. And it could be the same with Mark Hamill. I mean, you just never know, man. I'll know this: when you get into this business, the film business, like Michelle was talking about last night, a lot of people knows each other. They know each other. This very tight community when you're in that business.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, you networking with people has gotten you so many like tidbits, especially the guy up there in Canada that you talked to, and
yeah, Chris, that's right.
Other people that might have worked for Paramount and stuff, so
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Joey, exactly. And even the interview I got with Max, like the whole reason that even happened was because I got the interview first with Jason rather, the bodega clerk, and he's the one that said, "Hey, would you like Max to come on the stream too?"
Wow.
because they're friends. They're stuntmen. They've done movies together, so they're buddies. And so he's the one that actually suggested Max, who plays Ghostface. I'm like, absolutely. And then so he reached out to Max, and he set the whole thing up.
Wasn't that how you got Megan on your stream?
Megan was I contacted Megan, and and my friend Ken knew the family or the mother, and so he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll put a word in for you over and let him know that you're solid, that you're everything else." And so when I messaged over to talk to Amy McDonald's mom, and I said, I requested the interview, and I told him, hey, I'm real good friends with Ken and everything else, and that helped open the door, and that was, she agreed to the interview, and so all that stuff, you just never know how that stuff comes together. So, as you get your foot in the door and start to make contacts and meet people, like I say, dude, you never underestimate what can happen, and you never expect it, but you always hope, you always hope and you try. So that's all we can do. And what I found is that sometimes it happens. You get a phone, you get an email, and they say yes. So it'll happen for you too.
My love, open the door. My love. All right, man. It's getting a little late.
It is.
I got to get up early.
Yes, you do. I know. All right, guys. Well, this has been a fun stream. We want to say again, thank you to all of our new subscribers, everyone that found the channel tonight. We are so thrilled that you stumbled in and found us here. However you found us, it's our honor that you're here. And don't be strangers. Please come back to our next stream, and we'll be looking for you. And thank you for subscribing also to the Carbonite Jedi, Michael's channel, and my channel, Craven Something Scary. We'll look for you over there too. Don't be sure, because we also do streams on our own channels as well. I stream about 2 to 3 times a week. Michael streams at least generally once a week, right, Mike?
Yeah.
And so we'll continue that up, and appreciate all of you for being here tonight.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. You guys are amazing. General says she's going to watch the replay to see what we picked. Yeah, General, leave us a comment, Val, and let's see what your picks are from 1980. I'll be real curious to see what you pick also. And then Lola says, I'm going to check out Craven. Thank you, Lola. Yeah, go check out that interview. I think you'll enjoy it. Jason says, thank you for an awesome stream.
Thank
so
you,
much
Jason.
fun. Good night, everyone. Good night. Thank you, Jason. As always, it's a pleasure. All right. So, guys, until next week, this is Steven.
And this is Michael. And we are the Movie Bros React.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.